I don't usually like repetition on this programme, and I'm certainly not that keen on quoting the French too much, but the overtaxed days in which we live make it necessary. It was Jean-Baptiste Colbert who said, "The art of taxation consists in so plucking the goose as to obtain the largest possible amount of feathers with the smallest possible amount of hissing." Now, the Treasury must have enough feathers to enter the eider-down business, and the hissing is set to continue according to two new sets of research emerging on the front pages today. First of all, from The Telegraph, which has revealed through HMRC forecasts that tens of thousands of more deaths are set to exceed the threshold of the death tax. The estimate stands at an extra 50,000 families affected, taking the total to more than 280,000 families. Meanwhile, in the land of the overly taxed, from the Daily Mail, new research has suggested that the abolition of the detrimental tourist tax could generate £10 billion to the UK economy, proving to be a net gain for the Treasury and for Britain and for the taxpayer. So is it time to free the geese? Well, I'm very pleased to be joined now by Trevor Pickett, founder of Pickett, the luxury leather goods shop, and one of the first signatories of the Daily Mail's campaign against the tourist tax. I think it's worth explaining the tourist tax, that if you come here from overseas and you buy goods and they are shipped to you overseas, you don't pay VAT. No. But if you take them personally, you pay VAT, and until recently you could claim the money back. So everything effectively was 20% off.
Yes.
Now that's not true. You pay it and you can't reclaim it. So everyone's shopping in Paris.
Well, it was interesting you saying your French connection. I go to Paris quite a lot. And what I found fascinating, and I didn't realise it until this campaign started, is the amount of customers that come in. Now I'm here for 3 days, and we're going to Paris for 2 days. And because I know Paris quite well, I just go, well, are you going to the opera or doing this? And you must see this exhibition. And when Julia Carrick, who's absolutely amazing with James Chapman, who've been really spearheading this, and they said Paris is literally, their recovery is so fast from the pandemic, and most of the European countries are sort of pattering along. We seem to be pattering sort of quite slowly. You suddenly realise that people are actually going there more often than one would have expected. And certain companies like mine, which are quite small and very sort of luxury, customer-orientated, like shops on Savile Row that we were discussing, like Henry Poole and Anderson Shepherd, you actually hear what they're saying, so you know they're migratory. And Paris now seems to be the place to go because you can do your shopping, and it's £35 on Eurostar. So you're paying £35, and it's cheaper to stay in Paris. Sometimes it's stay in a Premier Inn.
And it was a very straightforward principle of VAT, that if you consumed the service in the UK, you were liable for VAT. If you consumed it outside, you weren't. So if you're a foreign tourist and you pay for dinner, then that's got VAT. If you buy leather goods and you take them out of the country, you don't. That got changed, which just seems very unfair because it's trying to tax people who don't really have a liability to UK tax.
Exactly, and
can go elsewhere.
As I say, and we've got competition abroad. But then, on the other side, if we brought back the 20%, what about the German customer and the Dutch customer that came to see me today, that both spent £500 each, that might have spent another £500 by egging each other off on, or having sales staff that sort of point out they're going to get this discount. So there's a bigger pool now, with this now Brexit, to get money out of Europe.
Absolutely, and the people who are going to be shopping with you may spend an extra night in the UK if their shopping is cost-effective, rather than, as you say, going off to Paris.
No, and they're going to stay here. They're going to be going, even if it's just a cup of coffee in Starbucks, it's employing people. It's the drip down that we need to think about. And with my business, we have a huge bespoke, as we were talking, getting back to Savile Row, but that's my area, and Jermyn Street. It's an expensive product to buy a handmade wallet or a handmade suit. But if you're saying it's £6,000 less 20%, oh my God, it's a huge saving. It's a huge saving. And that encourages the sales. And small businesses like ours need that money, and we have traditionally relied on an international customer to support that. So in us losing that, we are actually likely to lose craftspeople, because in this country, the cost of the handmade goods that we make is justifiably expensive. But if we haven't got the customer base, where are we going to go?
As a fiscal conservative, I've always got to put the point back to you that the Treasury needs
I'm
to get...
passionate.
No, you're right to be. Needs to get a certain amount of revenue. We've got to pay for the health service and for welfare and for the Ministry of Defence. But what you're actually saying is that if we cut this tax, there would be more money in the economy, and therefore the nation as a whole would be richer. Is that fair?
Well, I think the amount that a tourist is saving is quite minimal to the amount they're going to spend. So if they buy a wallet for me for £250 and they get it for £200, fine. They're staying in a hotel room. Because the sort of customer we have is not staying in a hotel room for £250. It's not near £1,000, and then they're going to go and take tickets. I mean, we've got the Opera House on board, we've got Somerset House on board, we've got the Royal Academy on board. So it's not, and I think the thing that concerns me, it's not just about retail shops. It is the bigger economy. Rocoforte Hotel.
And it's not just in London, because there are the out-of-London shopping centres. Claridge is one of my favourite places to go.
Best place for breakfast.
Yeah.
Best place for breakfast.
I don't eat breakfast. It's quite good.
No,
It's quite good for
breakfast.
dinner. Anyway, thank you so much, Trevor.